DreAllDay.com.
The Super You. Unlock and live with your highest possible level of confidence. DreAllDay.com. Dre Baldwin with DreAllDay.com. Today we're talking about getting to a new level. How do you take yourself to a new level from where you've been to where you want to go? And I think anyone, if you ask them, hey, anyone who has goals, anyone who's ambitious, anyone who's about, progressing and developing and moving forward and getting better, because that's not everybody, but anyone who is in that category, if you ask them, do they want to get better? They probably say, yeah, of course I want to get better. Of course I'm trying to improve. Of course I'm trying to learn more and do more and go further and advance past where I'm already at. So how do you actually do it? I'm gonna give you 3 principles that you need to follow anytime you want to take yourself to a new level in anything you're doing, anywhere you're at, or even if you just want to take your life in general, everything up to a new level. Here's the number 1 principle. Any person around you who is not aligned with you in going to a new level, that means they're not also trying to do it. They're not trying to support you in doing it, whether, I don't care if they're just indifferent, if they're not paying attention, if they're negative, if they're trying to slow you down, if they're ridiculing you for trying to get better. Anyone who is not completely aligned with you in doing the same thing that you're trying to do, they got to go. You have to get them out of your circle, get them out of your mind, get them out of your environment. Even if they're in the same physical space as you and you can't get away from them, you got to shut your mind off from them, meaning they're there, but you're not really hearing them. You're not under their influence anymore. You're not allowing their words and their energies to affect you. You got to completely eliminate these people. Fuck these people. Forget what they got to say. Forget what their ideas are. Forget their advice. Forget their opinions. You got to completely eliminate these people mentally if you can't also do it physically. If you can do it physically, do it physically. If you can't, you got to make sure you do it mentally. And I'll show you how to do that in my book, The Mental Workbook, also in my course, The Bulletproof Mindset. Number 2 point, and today again, how to take things to a new level. Do not waste even 1 second of your time. You want to take things to a new level. It's kind of like if you're pushing a rock up a hill. If you were to stop pushing for even 1 moment, just gravity is going to pull that rock right back down to the bottom and you got to start all over again. So you cannot waste 1 second in going from where you are to where you got to go. You got to have a sense of urgency, a sense of discipline, and you got to use all the energy that you have and all the resources, specifically your time, when I'm talking about not wasting a second, to push that rock up that hill, to get yourself to that next level. Maybe once you get there, you can relax for a moment and say, okay, let me enjoy the view from right here. Let me enjoy the position that I move myself to. But you cannot not have a sense of urgency when you're trying to take things to a new level, at least during the time that you're actually making the progress. You understand what I'm saying? While you're making the progress, you cannot afford to take time off. You can't afford to rest. You can't afford days off. You can't afford to not bring it every single day, even when you don't feel like it, even if it's raining outside, even if it's cloudy like it is here today in Miami. You still got to be willing to bring it 100% and do what you got to do without wasting any time whatsoever to get to that new level. Number 3 thing you do when you're taking things to a new level, understand that this may be feeling a little bit uncomfortable for you. I mean, when you're actually doing it, maybe not listening to it and talking about it, but when you do it, you may feel a bit uncomfortable. You're not around people that you used to be around because you eliminated those people. You decided you're going to go to a new level, so you're acting with a different energy. You got a new sense of urgency. You're taking actions that you didn't take before. You may be dealing with people and thoughts and ideas that you didn't deal with before. You may be executing and taking actions that you didn't take before. This is going to feel uncomfortable because you're not used to it. These are not habitual things. These are things you constantly got to think of for a while to make them into habits. This is going to feel uncomfortable. So when you feel uncomfortable and you feel a little bit uneasy about it and people are kind of looking at you funny and people are not sure what to expect from you because you're kind of changing up your actions and your habits and your energies, good. That's the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to feel uncomfortable. It's supposed to feel different. People are supposed to be looking at you like, hey, this is not what we're used to from you. That's the way it's supposed to be. Because if all you're doing is everything you've already been doing, we already know the answer to that. We already know the answer to what happens to that, right? We know the end of that sentence. You're going to get the same things you've always been doing, always been getting. So if you want to take things to a new level, all you got to do is follow those 3 steps. I don't care if you're an athlete, male, female, young, old, if you're in sports, if you're in the hospital, you're in the medical industry, you're in the science industry, you're an artist, you make YouTube videos, you're a swimmer, it doesn't matter. If you want to take things to a new level, those 3 points will always apply across the board, and you must follow them if you're serious about getting there. My name's Dre All Day. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com.